This is Mindfulness with Richard. I'm Richard Clarke. Welcome. This series focuses on mindful meditation. Listen, reflect, and deeply meditate. Today, I'm going to talk about tranquility. I've been talking about the ancient Indian teaching of the four means, or the four requisites for realization. I covered the first two, discrimination and detachment, and now I'll start talking about the third of these means, called the six virtues, or shat sampatti in Sanskrit. These are six qualities or states of mind that are essential for a person to attain peace, happiness, and ultimate liberation. The first of these six is sama, tranquility, or peace of mind. Tranquility is also known as calmness or serenity. It's a state of mental and emotional peace and stability. In mindfulness meditation, tranquility is achieved through the practice of being present in the moment, paying attention to your thoughts and feelings without judgment, and letting go of distractions and negative thoughts. It comes from your ability to notice thoughts without needing to react or respond to them. Tranquility allows you to cultivate a sense of inner peace and happiness, regardless of external circumstances. It's also necessary for deeper meditation practices, as it enables the mind to become still and focused. Maintaining tranquility in everyday life can be a challenge, as external factors like stress and worries and distractions can easily disrupt it. However, with regular meditation practice, you develop the ability to return to a state of tranquility more easily and quickly, even in the face of adversity. In mindfulness meditation, the goal is not to eliminate all thoughts and emotions, but rather to observe them and allow them to pass without getting caught up in them. This allows you to cultivate a sense of detachment from thoughts and emotions, leading to a more peaceful state of mind. Detachment is key to tranquility. If you can let the universe take its form without attachment to the outcome, then you become tranquil. The enemy of tranquility is the mind and its tendency towards distraction, worry, and negativity. The mind has a natural tendency to get caught up in thoughts, worries, and emotions, leading to mental agitation and a lack of inner peace. If you can just watch the mind without reacting and responding, you become tranquil. Other factors that can disrupt tranquility include external stressors such as work, personal or family problems, and internal factors such as physical discomfort or pain. Negative thought patterns and self-criticism can also have a negative impact on tranquility. For some people, self-criticism is a heavy internal burden. In mindfulness meditation, the goal is to cultivate an awareness of these distractions and to return the focus to the present moment, allowing thoughts and emotions to pass without getting caught up in them. This helps to reduce the impact of these negative influences and maintain a state of tranquility. Ultimately, the enemy of tranquility is the mind's tendency to dwell on the past or worry about the future. Mindfulness meditation helps cultivate the ability to live in the present moment and maintain a sense of inner peace. Tranquility is not just a temporary state of mind, but a way of being that permeates all aspects of your life. It allows you to approach life's challenges with a calm and clear mind, making it easier to navigate difficult situations and make more mindful and compassionate decisions. Tranquility is an essential part of mindfulness meditation and can be cultivated through regular practice. It leads to more peaceful, balanced, and fulfilling life and allows you to approach life challenges with a clear and calm mind. So, how do you cultivate tranquility? It can be cultivated in a number of ways. Here are a few. The first is regular meditation. Regularly practicing mindfulness meditation, like deep breathing and body scans, helps cultivate a sense of calm and inner peace. Awareness of thoughts and emotions. Paying attention to your thoughts and emotions without judgment and allowing them to pass without getting caught up in them brings a sense of detachment and tranquility. Mindful living. Incorporating mindfulness into your daily activity and relationships, like paying attention to your breath during activities and approaching interactions with others with compassion and non-judgment, can help maintain a state of calm and tranquility. Stress management. Managing stress through activities like exercise, mindfulness practice, and self-care reduces anxiety and promotes tranquility. Gratitude practice. Cultivating a sense of gratitude for what you have in your life can shift your focus from negative thoughts and emotions to positive, promoting a sense of peace and tranquility. And mindful breathing. Taking a few deep breaths and focusing on your breath when you are feeling overwhelmed can help you regain a sense of calm and tranquility. Remember that cultivating tranquility takes time and efforts, but the benefits of a more peaceful and balanced state of mind are worth it. Start with incorporating small mindfulness practices into your daily routine and gradually building up as you become more comfortable. In conclusion, cultivating mindful tranquility is a powerful process that not only brings inner peace and balance to your life, but also enables you to approach life with more clarity, compassion, and joy. By making it a daily habit, you can train your mind to be more present and attentive, and ultimately create a more fulfilling and meaningful existence for yourself and for those around you. So, how was your meditation last week, Richard?
Well, just what you're talking about is to, watch those thoughts and not hook in and not follow them, and just trying to notice that. That in itself is something to notice.
It's
There's
a
a
powerful
tendency to,
practice.
yeah, a tendency to want to hook into a thought or two.
Well, very good. How about you, Carol?
Well, just plugging away at it bit by bit. I think we meditated most of the days last week, and yesterday was a really great. I really appreciated the Nomi video that you played. That seemed to get me very deep. Other than that, I'll let you know when I'm enlightened.
Okay.
You are.
Thank you.
Okay. So then let us get started with our meditation. And let me get the picture up. And mindfulness is present moment awareness, paying attention on purpose in the present moment, non-judgmentally, fully receive whatever is experienced, then let it go. All right. Now, next, we're going to have a video about Seneca, the Roman Stoic, on the Art of Tranquility. Philosophers have been concerned about tranquility for literally thousands of years. And this was, I think, the heart of the Stoic teachings of Seneca.
Seneca the Younger was a philosopher who held an important position in the Roman Empire and is one of the major contributors to the ancient philosophy of Stoicism. Seneca once exchanged letters with his friend Serenus on how to free the mind from anxiety and worry in a Stoic way. This dialogue is now called De Tranquilitate Animi, which is Latin for on the tranquility of the mind. Seneca's words are not only geared towards caring less, they also point out what we should care about in order to achieve tranquility. This video presents you Seneca's suggestions for calming the mind, so Serenus can become a bit more serene. First of all, I want to thank two new Patreon supporters for helping me out. Thank you Gage and thank you Kevin. I appreciate your support. Also, I want to thank Vinita Singh for a generous PayPal donation. Thank you very much. So, one day, Serenus wrote a letter to his friend Seneca, explaining the mental disturbances he suffers from during his day-to-day activities. He asks Seneca to relieve him from his trouble, and thus, Seneca wrote back a letter containing his advice. From this advice, I've drawn 7 suggestions for achieving tranquility. Here we go. 1. Don't rely on hope. Seneca observed that many people are preoccupied with the future, and therefore their minds are hardly in the present moment. They are filled with desires and directed to fulfilling these desires. They create an image on how the future should work out for them, but when it doesn't, they're wretched. Such people are not only structurally dissatisfied and plagued by boredom, they also rely entirely on hope. I quote Seneca, "They strive to attain their prayers by every means. They teach and force themselves to do dishonorable and difficult things. And when their effort is without reward, they are tortured by the fruitless disgrace and grief, not because they wished for what was wrong, but because they wished in vain." End quote. I would say that amor fati, the practice of embracing fate, is a great antidote for those who rely on hope. Pursuing goals, no matter if they are long-term or short-term goals, while embracing whatever the results may be, helps to focus on the present moment instead of worrying about the outcome and being disappointed when the future doesn't bring what we hoped for. 2. Be of service. Surprisingly for some perhaps, Stoicism doesn't encourage people to close themselves off from society. Instead, we should participate in humankind in a way that fits us and benefits others. By putting ourselves to practice and helping our fellow human beings, we kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Firstly, we put our minds at work by being busy with a certain task. And secondly, we are being useful to others, which generates a sense of social connection, which just feels great. Although I must admit that current society is way different than society back then. I think that being in service all boils down to taking a good look at ourselves, making an inventory of our skills, and see how we use them to benefit others. Me, for example, I would be a lousy construction worker, and I'm quite bad at understanding technical stuff. On the other hand, I have a keen interest in philosophy, and I know how to create a video. That I'm able to use these skills to benefit other people gives my life meaning. Deriving meaning from your service, no matter what you do, is a road to fulfillment. How does this lead to a calm mind? Well, because we are focused on our task, we are less likely to be distracted by things that don't matter to us. For example, I notice when I'm fully immersed in creating these videos, there's no room to worry about what's on the news or what the negative people in my life said in the past. Why should I? I'm doing something with the purpose of entertaining and benefiting others. Striving for excellence in work is only possible when living in the present moment. 3. Choose your friends wisely. Seneca wrote, and I quote, "Nothing, however, gives the mind so much pleasure as fond and faithful friendship. What a blessing it is to have those to whose waiting hearts every secret may be committed with safety, whose knowledge of you fear less than your knowledge of yourself, whose conversation soothes your anxiety, whose opinion assists your decision, whose cheerfulness scatters your sorrow, the very sight of whom gives you joy." End quote. Friends can be a great addition to your life, but we should be wise about selecting the right friends to keep us company. Some friendships simply revolve around negativity or are downright toxic. And as we know, moods are contagious. A true friend may be loyal and friendly, but when this friend is always upset and takes great pleasure in complaining about everything and, basically, does harm by contact, it's better to avoid that person, according to Seneca. Instead, we might want to choose people that are, as far as possible, free from selfish desires and vices. In other words, people that uplift you rather than burden you with their misery. So how does this calm the mind? Well, a good and positive friend will not burden you with negativity and actually assist you in achieving happiness. By avoiding negative friends, their toxic behavior will not affect your inner peace. 4. Don't engage in useless affairs. Seneca writes about how some people live their lives aimlessly and spend their time going from place to place like ants crawl through bushes from twig to twig. I think we can see this happening a lot in today's day and age, with more distractions than ever before. We go from our smartphone to our laptop, from Facebook to Instagram, and when we are halfway a YouTube video, we're already bored and looking for another one. The key is to focus on a certain task and let all our effort be directed towards that task, and only deviate from it when something important gets in our way. When I'm working, for example, I usually put my phone in flight mode and turn off social media. Also, I make a list of goals I want to accomplish the next day, the night before. This way, my tasks are clear, and there's no need to think about anything other than those tasks, which tremendously reduces worry and thus calms the mind. At the end of the day, it all boils down to attention. The ability to pay attention makes the difference between mediocrity and excellence. 5. Don't depend on opinions of others. When we act like we are expected to act all the time, we are not living in accordance with our own inherent nature. Many people, however, are constantly putting up a facade because they are expected to act in a certain way because of their surroundings. Seneca gives the example of a funeral, on which people may perceive it disgraceful not to weep when everyone is doing it. In such a case, we are expected to fake our grief if we, in reality, don't have the inherent desire to weep, but we only do so to not be seen as a disgrace. Seneca wrote, and I quote, "This evil of depending on the opinions of others has become so deeply implanted that even grief, the most natural thing in the world, becomes now a matter of pretense." End quote. When we depend on the opinions of others, we aren't free. It takes courage to free ourselves from this bondage, but when we do, we are truly brave, because we have taken off our masks and show us to the world in our purest form. Yes, we will be open to ridicule, but isn't it better to be ridiculed because of who we truly are than tortured by perpetual pretense? 6. Balance solitude and being in crowds. Seneca wrote that we should embrace both solitude and being in crowds. Solitude gives us the opportunity to retire in ourselves and will make us long for company. Being in company will make us long for being alone. The one relieves the other, and that's why the two things must be combined. Stoicism doesn't encourage being a hermit, but still does put emphasis on solitary activities like journaling and forms of meditation. I would say that solitude charges the battery to be in crowds and calms the mind after being around people, while being in crowds connects us to our fellow human beings, bringing joy and laughter. Socializing can be a great cure to relieve our minds from solitary ruminations. When I had a job at the bank, I enjoyed being around people while longing for a quiet evening alone at the same time. In my current situation, being self-employed, I habitually work in crowded places, like the public library or the university campus, just to be around people and experiencing a sense of connection. Also, I do attend parties and social gatherings, even though I find them tiresome. So when I come home, I enjoy my solitude even more. 7. Give the mind some relaxation. Now, this is a tricky one, at least the method that Seneca proposes. Seneca argues that the mind needs relaxation from time to time and recommends washing away our sorrows and setting it free by the consumption of wine. Now, with my past experiences with alcohol, I do agree that alcohol does a great job in making us merrier and forgetting our sorrows. Seneca does advocate moderation though, but today we know very well that for some people moderation just isn't an option, because they drink to get drunk. Didn't Seneca also say that drunkenness is voluntary madness? Now, I do agree that we should relax our minds from time to time, and for the people that don't want to intoxicate themselves for it, there are other ways to find relief that didn't exist back then. How about going to the cinema once in a while, or playing a video game? Nevertheless, I still think that one of the best things we can do to achieve tranquility is some form of meditation. So these are 7 suggestions by Seneca for tranquility. Thank you for watching.
All right. And now we'll have our final meditation. And if you want, notice between each cycle of breath, from up to down and down to up, there's a small pause. Notice the pause in between the up breath and the down breath. All right. And we'll chant. Om. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Om. Peace, peace, peace. All right. Questions, comments? I thought it was interesting having that piece from Seneca, the famous Stoic, and much of what he said, except to booze it up at night.
That was my favorite part.
And, certainly one of the things I learned early in practice was this thing about choosing your friends and the ones you associate with well, because there are some people that make you feel peaceful and some people that make you feel agitated.
Yeah.
And I want to be peaceful.
Yeah, so you don't have to booze it up after the agitation.
Uh-huh. And it certainly is interesting to me that, issues about how to live a good life are things that people have been thinking about for a long time.
Yeah, yeah.
We have the great good fortune to be connected to one thread of that with Ramana and what we've learned about meditation. But that's not the only thread. It's been a concern forever.
Yeah, well, what was it, the first thing the Buddha said, that there's suffering, right?
Right.
So from there on, want to try and find a way to end that.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you again for getting together today, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.